Hi, I'm Neil Snyder. Thanks for joining me for another Snyder Talk video commentary. Today I want to talk about the reason the Messiah was crucified. He was actually crucified for saying the name Yahweh. There's a long story behind this. You really need to read the book, His Name is Yahweh. You can download it for free at hisnameisyahweh.org. Go to the free downloads page. You'll find the manuscript there listed. It's in PDF format. All you have to do is download it and read it. You can also get it from SnyderTalk.com. It's in the pages in the column on the right. It's His Name is Yahweh, the manuscript in PDF format, or that's the title. You need to read the book to understand all of the details, so I'm just going to run through some of them in a cursory fashion today and then get right to my point. The name Yahweh was taken out of circulation by Jewish religious leaders, or rabbis, in the mid-2nd century BC following the reign of Antiochus Epiphanes. You need to read the book to understand more detail than that. But today I want to focus in on the specific prohibition. It's found in the Mishnah, Sanhedrin 7:5, and this is quoting from the Mishnah. The blasphemer is not considered culpable unless he exactly pronounces the name. Now, the Mishnah is part of that body of work that we call the traditions of the Jews, or Jewish religious law, or Halacha. And here in Sanhedrin 7:5, we find the prohibition against saying the name Yahweh. The punishment for committing blasphemy according to Halacha, and I want to clarify this, the Tanakh, or the Old Testament, the Bible, does not prohibit the use of the name Yahweh. It tells us how to use the name Yahweh, but it doesn't prohibit its use. The Jewish religious leaders in the mid-2nd century BC prohibited its use, and Halacha had the force of law. It was applied instead of the Tanakh, or the Bible. And the prohibition, anyone who violated this prohibition was subject to capital punishment. The punishment for violating the decree not to say the name Yahweh was a combination of stoning and being hung on a tree. Okay, now I want you to look at Matthew chapter 26, because this chapter will explain to you what was going on at the time of the Messiah's crucifixion. The Messiah has been taken to Caiaphas, and Caiaphas is questioning him and trying to get him to say things that he can later use against him. Eventually, he brings in a witness, and the witness says, that he heard the Messiah say, "I am able to destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days." You'll find that in Matthew 26:21. Well, they had brought in several witnesses, but there was a lot of inconsistency. But when Caiaphas heard this, because he heard the name in most Bible translations, it's going to read God, but the witness probably didn't use the name, the title God there. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail later. When Caiaphas heard this, he stood up and asked the Messiah plainly. He says, "Are you the Son of God?" That's Matthew 26:63. Now, listen to the Messiah's reply. "You've said it yourself. Nevertheless, I tell you, hereafter you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven." That's Matthew 26:64. In Luke, it reads this way, "But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the power of God." That's Luke 22:69. Now, Luke goes on a little further than that. He says, the Messiah was asked a question, and he responded by saying, "Yes, I am." That's Luke 23:70. How do we know? How can we know for certain that the Messiah did not say God or the power of God? He must have used the name Yahweh. And we know it because of Caiaphas' reaction. If you want to see it, go to Matthew 26:25. He jumped out of his chair and says, "He has blasphemed. What further need do we have of witnesses? Behold, you have now heard the blasphemy." The only definition of blasphemy that was in use at that time, according to Halacha, was simply saying the name Yahweh, or to quote the Mishnah, to exactly pronounce the name. That's what he did. And when Caiaphas heard him say the name Yahweh, he jumped out of his chair and tore his robes, which was illegal according to the Bible. But he jumped out of his chair, he tore his robes and says, "He has blasphemed. You've now heard it for yourselves. What further need do we have of witnesses?" And remember what the punishment is for blasphemy? A combination of stoning and being hung on a tree. It's no coincidence that the Romans had invented a form of capital punishment that involved hanging people on a tree. We call it crucifixion. And you can bet that as he carried his crossbar to the crucifixion site, he was stoned by the mob, or many in the mob. The Mishnah says very clearly that the Messiah was hung on a tree. If you have any doubt about it because of any reservation you may harbor, the Mishnah provides proof or evidence. If you want to see it, go to Sanhedrin 10:11, Jerusalem Sanhedrin 7:16 and 25c and d, the Babylonian Sanhedrin 43a and 67a. In those passages, you'll find that they accused the Messiah of practicing magic. Well, don't be concerned about that, because in that day, they called healing miracles practicing magic. And so, in fact, the Messiah did, according to their definition of the word magic at that time, practice magic because he healed, and he did it in the name of Yahweh. And how do we know it? Because he said so. John 10:25. Yeshua said, "I told you and you do not believe. The works that I do," meaning the miracles he performed, "in my Father's name, these testify of me." The religious leaders, the rabbis, were very upset because Yeshua did not have the authority, according to them, to use the name Yahweh, but he did. And when he did, people were healed. They prayed for people's healing too, and they used the name Yahweh, but they thought they had authority to use the name. But nothing happened. They were angry because all the evidence pointed to Yeshua being exactly who he said he is. And who is he? Who did he say he is? He said he's Yahweh. The Bible says that he says he's Yahweh. You can see it in the Old Testament and the New Testament. But again, the purpose of this Snyder Talk video commentary is to simply show you that the Messiah was crucified for saying the name Yahweh, or according to Halacha, for committing blasphemy, because he used the name Yahweh in his trial before Caiaphas. And for that, he was hung on a tree, and he was stoned as he carried his crossbar to the crucifixion site. I hope this helps you. Please take advantage of the manuscript for His Name is Yahweh. Read it. You can get it at hisnameisYahweh.org or SnyderTalk.com. Listen to the audio files. Watch the videos that are up, posted 24/7 on SnyderTalk.com. Share this message freely. It's there for all of us. Thank you for joining me for another Snyder Talk video commentary. I look forward to seeing you again soon.